welcome everyone to another episode of the Friendly Skies podcast. I'm your pilot and host, Matt, and today we have my friend and fellow gamer, Jay Ritchie, co-host, and we have a guest with us. We have Nathan, Jay's son, and gamer. Nathan, you probably have a bunch of different gamer tags now, so I don't know. I was going to say Nate the Great, but Jay, how old is Nathan?
Nate is 11 years old.
All right. There we go. We got the So Nathan, do you want to tell us anything about yourself, or do we want to go straight into picking wherever you want to go in the world and then talk about some games?
Well, I'm a big gamer. I have a lot of favorite games, and my current username that I like people calling me by is, well, that one guy. So you can call me whatever you want. You can call me Nate Hulk, that one guy, Nate the Great, anything you choose. I'm fine with it.
Why that one guy?
I don't know. It just clicked.
Okay, I like the name.
And it just makes sense too. Hey, it's that one guy. He's always doing that one thing.
You do need something catchy. I like that. Mine is Downey Jr. because of Robert Downey Jr. Everyone remembers that one.
The real one.
Sometimes the real one, because there's always some Downey Jr. already or something. And Jay kind of changes his. What does Jay go by nowadays?
Well, mine has pretty much been Ooze for quite some time now.
Okay.
And that's derived from my old World of Warcraft character, Dreg Ooze.
Nice.
And everyone just called me Ooze, so it kind of stuck, and that was my tag ever since. And that's since 2004, I think.
Why did you pick Ooze? Not to extend this conversation
Well, again,
further, but
the character I played was Dreg Ooze, and people had called me Ooze.
Oh, okay,
As
gotcha.
an abbreviation.
Yeah.
So it just kind of stuck.
Yeah, I do remember Dragoos very well. Those were the days. We talked a little bit about them the last MMO episode. All right, Nathan. So this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you've never seen it before, it's going to look way better after we put it up on YouTube. So the quality sometimes when we stream it is not great, but trust me, it'll look really good. So you can watch it back. But where do you want it? Like, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, where do you want to go?
That's a tough question to answer.
Think about it, because we're gonna probably fly for an hour like that. So,
considering we've, I don't know. How about
like
keep it
Egypt? Well, you can go anywhere you want. You could fly by the Statue of Liberty. You've been to New York, right?
No, we've been to
Upstate.
Upstate,
Yeah.
right. Do you want to see what New York looks like?
Sure.
Okay, we'll just fly around New York. We'll fly around the Statue of Liberty, and we'll change it to daytime so you can see something. And then you get to, actually, you know what? You don't. I was gonna say you get to pick the plane, but since we're kind of going for a short flight, and we're touring around, we're just gonna pick what they call the Cessna 172 Skyhawk, which is a very common civilian plane. So let's pick the time. This gets a little glitchy sometimes because this game is glitchy. Clear skies. Can I change? There we go. Look at that. Turned into daytime all of a sudden. We'll take off from LaGuardia, which is an airport in New York City. And while this loads up, we'll start talking about some topics, some of the games we're going to talk about. By the way, Nathan, see all these green planes here?
Yeah.
These are all real players.
Really?
Yep. You're going to see this in a second here, so we'll set that as departure. And I think we're good to go. All right. So, Nathan, I know we played some games together, which I do want to talk about because I kind of want to... There's one game in particular I want to get back to because I don't think we've ever finished it. Well, it's interesting. I want to talk about how we finished that game, which is, I think, a hilarious story. I don't know if Jay knows what I'm talking about, but before we get to that, what games are you playing right now, and which game do you want to talk about first?
So far, I've been playing a lot of Team Fortress 2.
Okay, great.
And a lot of Left 4 Dead recently.
Really? You play two games that I haven't played in a long time? And,
Left 4 Dead's getting a major update, the Last Stand update.
Oh, really? What does that entail?
It's so The Last Stand was a campaign, well, survival map only for Left 4 Dead 1. They're bringing it over for Left 4 Dead 2, probably as its own campaign.
Oh, that's cool. So, when's the last time they added a new campaign? Because Jay, we played Left 4 Dead for a bit, right? Didn't we? Was that one of the games we
They've
played?
never added a new campaign to Left 4 Dead 2 except for this one.
Yeah,
So far,
they recently announced it, I believe, too. There's something that was recently announced for them.
The Last Stand update.
Well, maybe I'll get back into that actually. So, so it's just like another campaign basically that they're adding. It's called The Last Stand, so it must be the last update they're doing or something.
Yeah, well,
But they
Left 4 Dead 3 is expected to come out at some point.
Right. I haven't heard news of it at all.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Sorry to all the folks out there when they watch this loading screen. It's painful. Okay. So you see that, Nathan? That's an airport there.
Yep.
So all the textures will start loading up, but that's our plane right there. It's a little plane. I think we all fit though. Let me center my screen. When I turn my head, it moves inside the cockpit, by the way. So it'll get a little smoother in a second. Gets a little choppy at the beginning.
Very laggy.
It's a little laggy right now, but it's going to be a lot smoother. See how it's getting smoother now?
I'm assuming it's going to be a lot smoother when this gets on YouTube.
Yes, very smooth when it gets on YouTube. And yeah, it might be your connection. It might be the connection on Discord. So, so Team Fortress 2, have they done like a lot of updates? Like who plays that game now? Just like anyone plays the game? A lot of people play the game still?
Well, it depends. It's mainly veterans and newbies.
Okay.
It's not a lot of players, but it's a decent amount. There's also been speculation of another secret update coming along, but Valve hasn't confirmed anything yet.
That's interesting.
Now, Nathan, aside from the Team Fortress 2 game itself, where it's basically a capture the flag type game, I know that you play a lot of mods on it. Do you have a favorite modded game that you prefer playing? Do you even play the capture the flag game anymore?
I play the normal game modes a lot, but I prefer to do community servers. They're just a whole lot more fun. Is it every day that you come across a community server where you get to shoot Saxton Hale? It's not every day, is it?
It is not every day.
Or you get to fight the horseless headless horseman when it's not Halloween.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. The last time we played Team Fortress 2 with you, me, and Jay, and we played on a modded server. Yeah. And it got a little crazy. I gotta be honest. I like the more of the traditional, just team versus team map. It gets a little crazy. Like we have no idea sometimes of what's actually happening, like just random stuff happening.
And it's funny too, Matt. When we were kids. Well, not when we were kids. When we watched Paul's kid grow up, it was kind of the same thing. He was playing modded games opposed to the actual game on servers, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing given the age and whatnot. So,
well, I feel dumb because I play. There's two games, Payday 2, which I don't know if Nathan can play and if he's even allowed to play that type of game, but you got Payday 2, which is a bank robber game, and then you have there's like with virtual reality, Nathan. I know you have the PS4 virtual reality, but with some virtual reality games, they've actually modded some games where they like to do a lot of like prison break mods. Do you see like a lot of those types of mods out there?
Well, not really. The only type of prison type thing in Team Fortress is a Minecraft jail type thing.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure exactly what it is, but it's extremely hard because there's a bunch of policemen who will kill you, and then everyone will spam a chat, free killer, free killer.
So you find the mods make the game a lot more interesting.
Yeah, yes, don't get me wrong, there's fun in going and shooting a French man into orbit with a rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all fun and games when the horseless headless horseman comes along, and there's a giant eyeball inside of a racetrack
Yeah,
that you
that's
have to
crazy.
kill. And he disappears over time, so you have to kill him quickly.
That's yeah, I can see why that's pretty crazy. That's sounds a lot more interesting than regular you know, Team Fortress 2 match. Before we take off, Nathan, and I do want to ask you, I think we're gonna go into the King of Mods soon, because I think that's what is so appealing about modded games. Maybe it's like the pinnacle of mods, which is Garry's mod. But before we take off, so we're gonna fly around New York, Nathan, okay? And they call it the Big Apple, Manhattan. You know, like Manhattan. That's the you got Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. So I don't know if I can bring up a map here, but and this is probably not going to zoom out because this game is a little buggy. There we go. See how New York is kind of like an island?
Yeah.
Okay. So New York has the biggest park. Might be one. I think there are bigger parks actually, but it's called Central Park. Have you ever heard of Central Park?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna fly over that, so you get to see that. And then over here, Central Park should be over here, and then over here is gonna be, I believe, the Statue of Liberty. So that'd be cool to fly around. And then, by the way, my brother lives around in Brooklyn here. They live in New York. And then my parents live up in Manhattan. All right. All right. So, Jay, is there any questions you want to ask Nathan about Team Fortress 2 before we move on?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, one more thing about Team Fortress 2 as we take off. The thing I liked about Team Fortress 2, and this may sound bad, is I like to try to get the items because then you can make money off the items. Is that correct, Nathan? Can't you? Don't they drop items that are like you sell on the Steam store sometimes?
That is true. However, you can also get items through trading, and that's how people access more rare stuff. The community market is just either I don't want this or hey, you should get this since there's only a limited quantity of them. The community market's a very strange place. You can get you can get some very obscure type paints for some of your weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten a couple of them. I got one for my sniper rifle. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah. A paint, like a skin?
Yeah.
You said paint or skin?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something along those lines.
Okay.
You put it on one of your weapons, bam, it creates another one where that's that weapon with the skin on.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And you can always switch between your weapons. And there's also different types of weapons, like unusuals and stuff. They give off effects. Yep, they give off different effects. One of my personal types of favorites of weapons is Stranges, because they count how many kills you've had with that weapon. I think it's my Australian Tommy Slav. It has over 1,200 kills or something, and my SMG has over 3,000 kills.
Wow, that's a lot of kills, man. 3,000? I think I've had like 200 on mine.
Over 3,000, I think.
So
forget how many.
The interesting thing about Team Fortress 2 and the items that they drop is that they drop like weapons that actually are different, and they seem like they're like actually they make a difference, like they're powerful.
I wouldn't say that for all the weapons.
But some of them are like really good drops, right? Like good
one
weapons.
Could say.
Yeah. Okay. What's the most powerful weapon?
That is someone's different opinion. I don't really have my favorite weapon because then that would have to choose between my favorite class, and you don't want to get mixed up on all that because it just becomes one giant confusing pile of what's your favorite class, weapon, anything.
Right. Gotcha. All right. So, by the way, we're flying over New York. We're probably flying over maybe Brooklyn. And and I'll let you know when we get to Central Park. So, so the king of modded games, would you say it's Garry's Mod?
I couldn't.
Or no? Because I mean, it's all about modding. How can you beat
That's
Garry's
true.
Mod?
That's true. Yeah, I'd say Garry's Mod is probably one of the most modded, if not the most modded game on Steam, because you get mods, you do something,
Yeah.
I need another mod, and then eventually it's a chain of you have about 12 pages of mods that you don't need.
Right.
Occasionally you have to get like 4 add-ons for one thing. I do that for only good stuff, but if it's a dupe, then no.
Okay. So, and I see Jay playing Grim Dawn. So Jay's getting side entertainment while listening, but Jay, you better watch the slide after.
I'm just loading it up. I'm not actually playing it. Updating it.
Well, the flight's going to be way better once we upload on YouTube, so you don't have to watch it here. But we are going to do some crazy stunts later, Nathan. You can tell me where you want to land on a highway, and we'll do it. But so Garry's Mod, what's the well, so why do you like Garry's Mod, basically? And do you still play it?
I still play it, but not as much as I used to.
And can you explain to everyone what Garry's Mod is? Because we probably have a lot of listeners that don't know what Garry's Mod is.
Garry's Mod is essentially a sandbox type game. You're able to do whatever you want. You can throw a ragdoll off of a giant building. You can build a house. You can shoot exploding barrels. You can do anything. You can spawn NPCs.
Now, is there a main game, or is it strictly create your own mods? Is there like a main story? Is there a main game to it, or is it?
There's not a main game to it. It's just one giant sandbox thing. They essentially say, here's your game, do whatever you want.
So the game has no story or plot or beginning or end?
No. It only ends once you delete the game.
That's I think that's going to be very interesting to a lot of people who think games just have to have a beginning and end and a story.
The game really only ends once you completely get rid of the game.
Once you get what does that mean?
If you if you delete it, that there's no there is, even though it might end, there is no real end to it once you're fully done playing it.
That's very philosophical.
Is that Central Park you flying over right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is Central Park, Nathan. So see how big this park is that we're flying over. Look how
giant.
Big it's in. It's in the middle of the city here. Is there any games, Nathan, that you've played that takes place in New York City?
No, not for the most part. I mean, there was that one Spider-Man game for the PS4. That was a really good game.
Oh, well, that was New York, right, Jay?
It was, yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so it's actually got some good detail down there. I think they probably spent some time, you know, because if there's a lot of trees. The problem with this game is that they really made the trees overgrown, and I flew through some of the streets one point, and there were trees like growing out of the pavement. It was it gets a little crazy. So Nathan, with Garry's Mod, what's the craziest thing you've ever done in Garry's Mod? If you could just you could do anything you want in that game. So what's the craziest thing you've done?
I can't really answer that. I've done too many insane things. I can't pinpoint which is the dumbest and stupidest I've ever done.
Right.
Yeah, I really don't have an answer to that.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That means you've done a lot of crazy things, I take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's insane what you can do in that game.
Well, just give me. Why don't you give everyone one example? Because now they're probably wondering what did you actually do in there.
Well, for instance, can, speaking of Left 4 Dead, as we were talking about earlier, you can essentially recreate it. You can get the player models, you can get the weapons, get the NPCs, get the maps. Bam! You're essentially in Left 4 Dead with a Half-Life 2 HUD.
That's crazy. So you're in Left 4 Dead with that Half-Life 2 HUD, which is like a heads-up display, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
You can recreate many, many games.
That's actually interesting. So what other? Actually, one more question then. What other game can you recreate? Because that Left 4 Dead is made by Valve, which made Garry's Mod, so I could see why they could use the engine there to make it look like Left 4 Dead.
Actually, Valve did not make Garry's Mod.
Oh, who made Garry's Mod?
Face Punch Studios. They used assets from Half-Life 2 into their game, Garry's Mod, and then they essentially gave access to the workshop. You can recreate games like Team Fortress, Left 4 Dead, and the very overrated game Baldi's Basics. Get the next spots, get the map. You're done. You can grab some friends if you want to challenge. I've done that a couple of times. I grabbed a friend. We tried to see how long we can last with all of the next spots. There's like 10 of them. Like 3 more just released, so it's insane.
Can you play with friends in Garry's Mod? Can you play multiplayer?
Yes, you can play up to four friends. You can play up to 4 friends.
4 friends. Okay.
And then there's always the traditional community servers. I don't play on those. I really only play single player and occasionally with my friend.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about if you play more with your friends, or do you why you like playing with your friends? But before I ask you that, this is what do you think this is, Nathan?
The Statue of Liberty.
There you go. There you go. You don't even have to see it in real life. You have it right here. They did a pretty good job with it.
That won't stop me from actually going, though.
No, yeah, you should go still too. But there's the Statue of Liberty. We can fly around it one more time, maybe. You got a lot of docks, and you see a lot. There's an island here called Governor's Island. I would go with my brother and sister, and we would go rollerblading, biking there. You should definitely go. Maybe we'll all go one day there, and it's pretty cool. It's built on a fort. Back when there was a war, they had a fort on the island to defend the United States in case the United States was getting attacked, which we never did. So, fun fact there. Okay, so before we move on from, is there anything else you want to talk about Garry's Mod? Do you still play it, by the way?
I do, but like I said, not as much anymore. It's not. I've already done most of the crazy things to do. Besides, if you try to get more NPCs, you look under the NPCs tab, all you see is next spot, next spot, next spot. Those were good back in the day when there was only about 20 of them in total. But now, there's essentially one for anything you can think of.
One for, what do you mean? One you can, anything? It's for like a bot for anything.
So you can essentially think of this airplane. It's probably already a next spot.
Okay.
Probably already 3 clones of it.
So that sounds pretty interesting. If they have a bot for everything. By the way, we're flying over Governor's Island.
To be honest,
yeah.
Next spots, they're not really that fun, to be honest. It's just a 2D image. It chases you, it insta kills you. It has infinite health. It doesn't stop at anything. It can jump at infinite heights. It's just not a fun thing. The only thing I really use the next spots for are the Baldi next spots, but that's about it. However, there is a good side to next spots.
What is it?
The good next spots. The good next spots are next spots that have actually had time and effort put into them. These ones are usually 3D next spots.
Okay.
They're exceptionally well done, and I'm just impressed with anyone who's able to do it. It takes a lot of effort and skill, I do the animation ripping, the model ripping, texture ripping, all that fun stuff.
What does
Yeah.
that mean, the texture ripping? Do you mean you rip the textures from the bots?
So,
Oh, you put them on there.
yeah.
Okay,
Otherwise,
gotcha.
it'd just be a purple and pink. Otherwise, it'd just be a pink and black texture.
Right, right. And a lot of people that make video games or design them, or, there's a lot of people that make video games, right? You got the graphic artists, and then you got the programmers that make the code. That they start with mods, a lot of them now. So, do you like to try to delve? Maybe as you get older, you might like to dive a little deeper and try to mod those games further. I used to do 3D levels in Quake. You probably don't know that game, or maybe you remember it, but it's an old game. First-person shooter. You can design levels. I always thought that's pretty cool. Look how they do all these buildings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's. Do you know how they made this game, by the way?
Oh.
They took Bing Maps, which out of all the maps you could take is Bing for some reason, but aside from that, they took Bing Maps, so kind of like
they
Google.
Own it. That's why.
Right, they own. Yeah, it's Microsoft. I guess it'd be awkward to ask Google. But it's like Google Maps, Nathan, where in Google Maps you can go and you can actually find your house and stuff, and you can sometimes plot the little person to look around in photographic images. Basically, what they did is they took the satellite's image and then they kind of made the world, and they took the 3D. They kind of extracted somehow with artificial intelligence the buildings out from the world to make these. So some of the buildings look a little weird. But if you could definitely fly over a house you used to live in before, or your current house, you could fly over anything and you could probably recognize your house from there. So, I don't know if you'd like flying around, but that's what this game is. So, another game. So, why don't we before we talk about Dying Light, because I want to talk about Dying Light. What other game you want to talk about, Nathan? What game are you playing? What's your favorite game that you're playing right now?
It's a tough decision to put between Left 4 Dead and Team Fortress.
Oh, wow. So you still play
and
those
probably
two,
Tabs too.
So let's talk about. So Left 4 Dead, do you play the modded things of Left 4 Dead?
Yeah. Essentially,
Okay.
all of my common infected right now are the zombie models from Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And then the tank is the Gargantuar, and the jockey's the Imp. Right now, my smoker, Slenderman.
Mm-hmm.
My hunter is the soldier from Team Fortress 2. The charger is the All-Star, again from Garden Warfare.
Right.
Can't remember who the spitter is though.
Okay. But you played the. I'm sorry, I probably missed this. You said you play the modded version of Left 4 Dead. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know any of the mods for Left 4 Dead.
So occasionally the game has to load in the mods, and that's how I'm able to play the original version without any mods. So the mods have to load in at first, and I can just hop in a game quickly before they load and play myself some original Left 4 Dead without any mods. It's a cool trick.
Oh, that's cool. While you wait.
And then once you're done with the campaign, or you leave, or you start a new campaign, the mods have loaded in, and you're ready for the action.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun. I'll probably get back into Left 4 Dead. Let me know when that update comes out with the campaign. I'm actually curious. So tabs. I actually have tabs, and you were very surprised for some reason that I have it, but I got it for free because I'm definitely not buying that game. But it's kind of a fun game. It's it's like a physics-based game, right? You want to explain for the audience what physics-based games are, or do you want me to explain it real quick?
Physics essentially means ragdoll. Essentially, when something it dies or spawns as a ragdoll, you're able to make them flop around.
Right.
Abs takes that idea, puts history into the mix, and now you have Da Vinci's tank. Tabs.
Da Vinci's what do you mean Da Vinci's tank?
Da Vinci is in tabs.
Like Leonardo da Vinci?
The artist, Leonardo da Vinci.
Right.
In his tank.
Right.
Then there's also people like Thor, Artemis, Zeus, the Monkey King.
So, sort of accurate to real life, but it has definitely historical characters, right?
It's supposed to take history with a grain of salt, also known as the whole salt shaker.
What's a salt shaker? Well, I know what a salt shaker is, but you probably don't mean salt shaker. What do you mean salt shaker?
When you say take things with a grain of salt, it means like
grain of salt. Yeah.
It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be funny, but it's supposed to be accurate. But it still comes off as funny.
Right.
Tabs uses the entire salt shaker. It's supposed to be funny, and it's not supposed to be accurate.
Right. I've never heard it like that. That expression.
Despite its name, totally accurate battle simulator.
Right. It's ironic, right?
Yeah.
I think.
You can have cavemen who fight Robin Hood. You can have a king fight a catapult, and the catapult will lose.
Wow.
Yet he still has exploding boulders. You can have a pirate captain face off against a Viking army, if you will. You can have... The ideas are limitless. You can have one pike face off against the shogun and the pike will win. I do not know how that's possible, considering the giant price difference. Pike costs 300, shogun costs 2,800. It makes no sense.
So that means the game is that part of the game is a little unbalanced.
There are some units that are very unbalanced, and then there's units that are so bad they're funny.
Right.
And I can think of one unit. I just really hate this unit. It's Candlehead. Came along with the spooky faction update. I really hate this unit. It's so bad. For
Why is it bad?
For $200, you'd think it'd do something decent, right?
Right.
Well, not really.
Right.
Yes, it can instantly kill all normal units, but an archer can do that better for 140. Yeah, and it fires faster, and its main purpose is it's supposed to keep big units back while your other units attack.
Right.
I just don't see him. He doesn't live up to what he's supposed to do.
Right.
At least in my eyes. There's far better units. Whenever he's swarmed, there's nothing he can do.
Now, Nathan, in that game, is there a campaign mode versus sandbox mode? I know that you do play a lot.
There's a campaign mode. You have to unlock one of them. I will not spoil it to all of our viewers out there, so go find it for yourself. There's also, there's...
Unlock what?
It's very insane.
But not like specific unit, but like what are you unlocking?
Unlocking a campaign.
Oh, you can unlock campaigns specifically.
Yeah. It's a campaign that just came out recently, the Legacy update. You probably already found the units out there, most of our viewers, if you have the game, but for those of you who don't, you're able to unlock a campaign, so you should go look for that. Consists of 16 units, I believe. Let me double check that. 16 legacy units in the legacy map to unlock the new campaign. Happy hunting, as what it says. And then, of course, they did the usual balance, which they didn't do great on.
Mm-hmm.
They essentially butchered the farmer, raised his price up 10, I think 70 was fine. 80 is a little pushing
because
it.
the good thing about the farmer was that it was cheap and it was somewhat effective if you got a lot of them, right?
So farmer's gimmick is that if he's spammed in groups, he's supposed to be useful.
Mm-hmm.
He has longer range than a squire, clubber, samurai, and bomb on a stick.
Right.
And that's his gimmick. He's supposed to poke units with his longer range. But sometimes he can get outclassed by ranged units.
Right. Gotcha.
Game just paused.
Oh, did it? It might have frozen on your screen. It'll keep going probably.
Mm.
Keep an eye out on the roads here because I do want you to remember maybe there's a couple stretches of highway we can probably land on. So what's your favorite unit in the game? Because I did play the game a little bit, and it's fun to like combine units and see, what you do with your resources. Right? That's the challenge. Is like you only have finite amount of resources.
So for me, I made a tier list actually. And I also made some memes on those, so you should probably check those out. Anyways,
where can people check those memes out?
My artwork stuff. Anyways, I have actually I'm actually here. I didn't make it before the legacy update, so it's missing 16 new units. But I feel like most people can agree on the top tier units. Like the top tier units.
What's the top tier? What's one? Just tell me one. What does it you do?
So in my Landfall Made a Mistake tier, Vampire, Jouster, Ballista, Cheerleader, and Clams.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my Powerful tier, this is the third most powerful tier above God tier. There's Da Vinci Tank, Cupid, Cavalry, and Lasso. Powerful is where a lot of the good units come in. However, these are the units that are good on their own, but once there's more units than them that they can get overwhelmed by, that's when more powerful units come above, like the God tier and Landfall Made a Mistake. This is Fencer, Taekwondo, the Pirate Queen, the Captain, the Reaper, Quick Draw, Artemis, the King, the Bank Robbers. Bank Robbers is controversial. I personally like the Bank Robbers. He can take up to 10 units, but I feel like the robbers themselves are the issue. They have less than health than a halfling, and and can be one-shotted by everything. But the bank itself isn't bad. Halfling, he's good as a distraction and a fighter. Gunslinger, reasons. However, he was nerfed, so I put his nerfed self into pretty good, which is the one below it. Right. Spear Thrower can kill the Reaper, Captain, Pirate Queen, practically everyone. The Cannon, self-explanatory, fast reload, very good damage, and once it's spammed, that big unit's gone. There's
totally accurate battle simulator.
The Firework Archer, who will send units into a new dimension, and Swordcaster.
Okay.
And then
did you just name your top 20 most powerful units just now?
Can I name you my top?
Give me your top unit. How about that? Just one unit.
Yeah, you don't need to go into all of them, bud.
One of the best units, in my opinion, is the Vampire. Okay. He's definitely beat by a lot of units, but when he's spammed, actually nothing lives. Not even Ice Giants.
I'm gonna try that one out next time. I mean, for all the Tabs players out there, I'm sure what you just said is gonna help them out a lot. But let's get to the last game here, Nathan, if you don't mind, and then we're gonna pick a little runway. You're gonna pick your own landing spot here. Remember we played Dying Light? Have you played that? We haven't played in a while, and we got the expansion. And
last time I played Dying Light.
Yeah.
Let me see. The last time I played Dying Light was March 16th.
Wow, you know that date very. Are you looking at your Steam profile?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, thank you for being factual there.
Considering I beat the game, feel like I don't have
Well, you say you beat the game, and I think you did actually. But remember the day that we were all three together, and by the way, this is for everyone out there. Dying Light is basically a survival, open world adventure, which with a story, yeah, with a story and all that. But do you remember the time that we beat the game? And when I say we beat the game, Jay beat the game for some reason. I didn't play it. I didn't beat it. Like, what happened there?
Well, before you go into that, I think the funny thing is that Matt, you and I were playing that game for about a year.
Right.
Before we got to the end of it. He was literally playing that game for 2 weeks and was already at the same spot that we were, if not further along than we were.
Right, I forgot about that. That's true.
It was 1 week. It was actually 1 week.
That reminds me... Yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
I woke up one day, I said, I'm gonna play some video games!
I'm just gonna beat it.
And then I already left off in the arena mode, where I had to fight that Demolisher.
Right.
It was a very good boss fight. I really enjoyed it. Although the horde of virals just made it super difficult.
Yeah.
And of course, I had to go through like some walkthroughs to get through parts of it. I didn't walk through the entire game, bits of it.
Well, you make us feel old because, like Jay said, Jay and I have literally been playing the game for a year. Literally for a year. I play games for I think Fallout 4 took me about 6 years to complete. You beat the game, you play the game and you're at the end or whatever, or you beat the game. We're going to go back to that in a week. Philip, as you know, Paul's son, I remember when we played, Elite Dangerous, the space combat sim, I was forever trying to figure out how to, kill ships quickly, and then he somehow figured out the trick and farmed it for a week and got all the money in the game, so...
Surprisingly, for Dying Light, I only have 66.1 hours.
Wow. So you were very efficient when you played it. You just pounded through it.
Yep, there was just non-stop zombie killing.
Okay.
Whenever there's a zombie in the way, it's either you or the zombie.
Right. So okay, Jay. So Jay, getting back to Jay beating the game. Jay, you want to tell that story?
I don't know about how much of a story there was to it.
I just remember for some reason you had to beat the game because I couldn't handle it anymore, or it was too difficult. What happened?
I would say it was too difficult.
I couldn't do it.
You're talking. There was a jump. There was like a simple jump we had to do with like a scaffolding. Or
I gave
like
up.
That. You had a tough time doing it.
You just and I sat next to you and I said, you know what? Just beat the game and I'll just watch the ending.
Oh yeah, but again, I think we all ultimately ended up beating that game, and then we all got Dying Light 2. We just it was not Dying Light 2, but the expansion for it, where you get that vehicle.
Right.
We just haven't we haven't
yet
been
to
able to do it.
Yeah, that's because we got stuck. We got stuck on it.
Yeah, well, I think we also stopped playing.
We had to save a couple of survivors, but there was none around. So
right. Well, I know what you're talking about because I think I gotta admit I was curious and I played the game a little bit and I got to that part too. But we'll beat it together. But I do want to say that we cheated, or I cheated, because I lost my character somehow and then I duplicated all of the items that I think. So who got my items after? And then Jay was like, "Yeah, we can't play like this because your items are literally." 9 million.
Yeah, because we started the new campaign and you had
I only got your baseball bat. By the way, you still have to give me some more of those broken weapons.
Oh, well, that's what Jay and myself are saying, Nathan, that we probably shouldn't play like that, to cheat that much. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, I really only use the broken weapons anyways. Why?
Okay.
Because one of the broken weapons, even though it does no damage, it literally throws zombies into the wall, and then their head explodes. It's a simple kill for a weapon that doesn't break. It's essentially, like you said, cheating.
Yeah.
But it's what the devs actually intended.
Well,
they actually intended you to cheat.
So, the way I do it is I use this weapon. Its purpose is to destroy zombies and throw them around. When it breaks, it's not able to destroy zombies, but it's still able to throw zombies around. My thing is that if you hit a zombie, they're able to go flying into the wall or off the ledge, which kills them instantly.
Right. Well, I may have to figure something out with my character, and I don't want to play the game again just to level up my weapons. But I'm gonna have to look up online how to figure it out, or maybe I can start a character from where the expansion left off. But Nathan, let me ask you something. And we'll definitely do more episodes. And you can we could talk about other games coming out. I know there's a couple games I'm definitely getting when it comes out that we're excited. I know Jay's got a couple of games that I'm curious to see, like Dual Universe. But do you think this highway is good to land? Do you want to land on this, or do you want to pick a different place to land? Look at this. Look at this big highway here.
And we can land on it.
You want to land on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Won't cars hit us, though?
The cars won't hit us because the game won't let the cars hit us, so it'll be a little scary. But buildings will definitely hit us, so I'm going to have to try to land here.
Oh, what, do the cars clip through you?
They do clip through you, yeah.
What happens if
you
you hit a
go
building?
third person in this game?
You can, which I will in a second. I just can't land very well in third person. What were you saying, Nathan?
What happens if you actually do hit a building? You just explode?
Yeah. So,
That's a shame.
It is a shame if you crash into it. I don't know why the buildings right now look like The Last of Us.
It's low poly. it's like far up, then it's very detailed.
Right. Oh,
it's very very detailed when you get down to it. Look at the cars.
So now this game looks quite poor right now.
Yeah.
Look at are these how bad the roads are in New York right now? Look at this.
No wonder why there's so much crime.
It's a little rocky.
Because there's no policemen to stop them.
All the details on top of the cars.
Yeah, the cars are going a little... Oh, okay. We got to be a little careful here. So we're just going to go down the highway here. I'm not sure which highway this is. Before we crash and die here.
Mommy, look! It's a jet on the highway.
Next time, think about other places you want to fly, Nathan. We can also fly, like, seaplanes. We can fly... You know, if there's any movies you like... you know, I got a couple people that know movies, depending on what movie you mention. We'll see who else we bring for that.
Yeah, well, Nathan and I have been, over the summer, we watched all of the Star Wars movies, which are all 12 of the main Star Wars movies.
Oh, nice.
Chronological order.
In chronological order, and we're currently doing the MCU in chronological order, and I think we only have 3 movies left. So 2 of those are going to be Endgame, and I think one of them, the Avengers movies, and then one of them is going to be the Spider-Man Homecoming.
You know what we should...
Oh, Far From Home.
Well, we actually, both those movies, so Avengers, Spider-Man, kind of the same thing. Oh, okay, we just died there. That ends that podcast. So I was just going to say we could do one with Leah, because Leah's a big... I think she wanted to see the... she's already seen the Avengers movies, but I think we were trying to see the last one again, and we can talk about the chronological history of all the Avenger movies. If you want to do that, Nathan, you think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that we've sufficiently died on the rocky roads of New York, because they really need to fix some stuff, Nathan, I want to say thank you for being on the first episode here. You're gonna see it soon, and I think I know what to call it. But anything you want to say, Nathan?
When will it be updated? I mean, uploaded?
Uploaded probably tomorrow, if I find some time tonight to render it, and then I'll upload it and I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right.
Are you going to be editing it at all?
Dude, it was perfect. I don't need to do any editing to this one.
Okay.
Unless you said something you want me to edit out.
I'll probably have to rewatch it then.
I think you're good. I listened. I heard what you said, and you were very informative. And the way we title these videos, if people are interested in tabs, they'll listen in.
We can probably edit out the whole ramble on the tabs units.
It was
maybe.
If you listen back to it, sometimes it's interesting. I'm sure people can fast forward as well. But Jay, but Nathan, thank you very much. Jay, any last words here?
Oh, thank you very much for having us. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to doing more episodes with you.
yeah, it was really fun. I'm excited to fly more, and I was gonna say we have some other episodes about some different topics, but we'll definitely do the next episode soon. So thank you guys. You guys have a good night. All right.